Good morning, students. Welcome back to our economics class. Okay, so as we have done with our market chapter, in our next chapter, we have only 5 marks question and compulsory 5 marks question and also the VSAQs of this chapter. So the next chapter we are going to discuss today is theories of distribution. Okay, so in this chapter, only one SAQ is there, which is compulsory from exam point of view. Only one SAQ and 2 VSAQs you will get from this chapter. So today we are going to discuss what are the important question, what is that compulsory SAQ from this chapter. Okay, so the important 5 marks question from this chapter is what are real wages? What are real wages? What are the factors determining real wages? So your question will be factors determining real wages. Okay. So generally you see question will be, it is like mostly every time in every exam they are asking this question. Real wages and factors determining real wages. First, let us see what do you mean by wages. Okay, wages means what? It is a reward which is paid for services of the labor. Okay, so just see before going to the question, we will discuss what are wages and what are the different types of wages we are having. So, right, before this question, first, let me explain you what do you mean by wages. Wages means what? Wages means the service, the reward which is paid for the reward paid for the services of labor. The reward which is paid for the services of labor is called as wages. Means when we take the services of labor in our production, when we use the factor labor, in return we pay some money to that labor for their services and efforts which they give for our production activity. So that reward, we call them as wages. Now, these wages are divided into 2 types. One is money wage. Money wages. Money wages means what? The reward which is paid for the labor, the amount or money income received by the labor as a reward for the services rendered by them either in a physical or a mental form. So how we will define these money wage as? Money wage are also called as nominal wages. Okay, money wages are also called as nominal wages. So the amount income, or we can say the income received by the laborer for the services rendered means for the services given in the production activity, for the services rendered in physical or mental form. Physical or mental form means it is the income received by laborer. Laborer means who? One who provides his physical or mental services to the production activity. So the human efforts we can say. When he is giving his efforts, in return he will earn some income. That income which is paid in the form of money is called as money wages. Okay, so money wages we can say the money income received by the laborer for the services rendered in physical or mental form. Okay, now these money wages are also called as nominal wages. These money wages are again divided into, we can say, time wages and piece wages. Time wages and piece wages. Okay, these money wages are divided into time wages or piece wages. So here, when the wages are paid based on time element. Based on time element means when laborer is working, when a person is working in any organization, when he receives the income based on time. Based on time means we can say here daily wages, weekly wages, or monthly wages. These are called as time wages. Okay, so what are time wages? Wages which are paid based on time element. Next one, wages are paid. Now piece wages. Piece wages means what? We are not considering the time. How much time we are not bothered. We are seeing how much amount of work they have done. Depending on amount of work done by the labor, wages are paid to the labor. They are called as piece wages. So how you will write these piece wages? Wages paid in accordance with, wages are paid according to the work done by laborer. So according to the work done by the laborer. So here he may like generally here mostly skills and efficiency of the labor is very important. Skill and expertise of the labor are taken into consideration. So when piece wages are taken, skill and experts are also taken here, and these are like piece wages. As you complete this much of work, this is the amount given. Means they are irrespective of time. Means they don't bother how much time they are taking to complete the work, but they should complete that work. For example, a labor is there, daily labor is there. He is, for example, suppose painting one room. For one room, 500 rupees for painting. How many days he may take? But once he completes that one room, he will get 500 rupees. That those wages are called as piece wages. Okay, so see the difference. These all are important for your 2 marks over here. Money wages. What are money wages? The money income received by laborer for the services rendered in physical or mental form. When a laborer is providing the services either physically or mentally, he will receive some income. That income is called as money wages. And these money wages are also called as nominal wages. Okay. Now, we are having one more concept, that is time wages and piece wages. Time wages are what? Wages which are paid based on time element. Means irrespective of how much ever work he may do. He may complete the work, he may not complete the work. Like hourly basis will be there for 1 hour, this is the amount. Or daily basis will be there, or monthly basis will be there. So like that, when time element is considered, when wages are paid, those are called as time wages. Piece wages are which are paid in according to the amount of work done by them. Amount of work done by the laborer, like how much work they are doing. For example, they have to complete the work. So as they completed the work or not. So that way, the piece wages are paid. Clear? Hope you understood these money wages, time wages, and piece wages. Next type of wages are real wages. Real wages means what? Once the laborer receives the money wages, he will use them to purchase his requirements, right? Generally, when a laborer earn income, they use that money to purchase whatever the necessities or whatever he want, he will purchase with that income only. So, real wages is a concept where we can say it is the purchasing power of money wages. What are real wages? Real wages are the purchasing power of money wages. Purchasing power of money wages means what? How much income you're having. With that income, how much amount of goods and services you can purchase. So that purchasing power is called as real wages. Now let us see what the real wages exactly mean here. Okay, real wages or purchasing power of money wages, or we can explain them as real wages are the amount of goods and services that a laborer can purchase with his money wage. Got the concept here? With his money wage. Money wage means what? The income which is received for his work in the form of money. With that money, how much amount of goods he can purchase? How much amount of goods and services he can purchase? That concept is called as real wages. So here, now let us discuss what are all the factors determining real wages. Factors determining real wages. Factors determining real wages means what? For example, I have 10 rupees income. Means I'll be earning some 10,000 rupees as my income every month. With that 10,000, how much I can purchase? Sometimes I can purchase in more quantity. Sometimes I can purchase in less quantity. On what basis these changes will happen? Those are called as factors determining real wages. So the first factor which is determining our purchasing power is price level. Price level means what? If the goods prices are purchasing power of money determining the real wages, we can say if the price level is high, real wage will be low. Simple concept you remember. If price is high, real wages are low. And if prices are low, real wages are high. See, if prices of the commodities are less, with our limited income, we are in a position to purchase more quantity. So our real wage will increase. Means my purchasing power is increasing when price is low. So that is affecting the real wages of a consumer here. Right. Then next factor which is determining is method of payment. Method of payment. So beside money wages, laborer gets additional facilities in the form of goods and services provided by the management, or free housing, free medical facilities, free education and all. If additional facilities are given, see, if additional facilities are given, then real wages will be high. Real wages will be more. Remember, in method of payment, when in our income, additional facilities. What are these additional facilities? Like in some companies, they'll be giving housing allowances or transport allowances or education or medical allowances. If these all facilities are included in your money income, means if they all are included in your salaries, then your real wage will be high. Whereas if all these facilities are not given by the employer, then your real wages will be low. Got the point here? Method of payment means if additional facilities are provided to the laborer, then real wages will be high. Okay, remember this point here. Then next factor which is determining the real wage is Regularity of employment. Regularity of employment. Regularity of employment means the real wages, our purchasing power depends upon regularity of employment. If a person is having a temporary employment, temporary means what? When we will do the job, when we will not do the job, we have no idea, right? When you have temporary job, can you purchase? Means we are not ready to spend that much of money. Whereas if you have a permanent job, permanent means yes, our future is secured. Yes, in future also I'll get some income. Some regularity is there, permanent job is there. Then obviously purchasing power will be high. Okay, so in regularity of employment, see, if job is permanent, real wages will be high. Okay, if job is temporary, real wages will be low. Okay, that is regularity of employment. And next point, next factor which is determining the real wage is nature of work. Nature of work means what kind of work are people doing? Means, is there risk and danger involved in the work? If there is a risk, if the job is a risky job, your real wage will be low. Means you have to spend more amount on the stress relief or the risk what you're bearing, danger what you're having. On this only you have to spend all your money. So when there is a risk and danger are more in your job, real wage will be low. So here we can say here, if work is risky, real wages are low. If there is a risky work, real wage will be low. If the work is smooth and without any risk it is there, then real wage will be high. Okay, so that is the concept of nature of work. Next one. Right, next one. Subsidiary earnings. Subsidiary earnings means what? The additional facilities or additional income which is earned by the labor. For example, he is not only getting the income from the job, but also he has one building. From that building, he will earn rent, right? On building rent will come now. That is an extra income for him. When he receives an extra income, like rent on building or agriculture land he is having, from agriculture land, he will earn some money. Okay, or he has given some money to someone else, interest he will receive on that. So that additional income other than your money wages are called subsidiary earnings. When a person is having subsidiary earnings, his real wage will be high. So here we can say, if a labor earns extra income in addition to his wages, if a person is earning extra income like rent on building or interest on capital, or we can say here he is earning some income from agriculture, like that some extra income he is earning other than his wages, then his real wages will be high. When a person is earning extra income other than his wages, then his real wage will be high. Okay, so these are subsidiary earnings. And another factor determining is timely payment. Timely payment means here, if the laborer receives payments regularly and timely, real wage will be high. So if the payment is regular and in time, then real wage will be high. That means if he is receiving his wages every time, regularly or on time. For example, if a person is earning salary, every month first, he will earn the salary. If that is regular, his wages, real wages or purchasing power will be high. Okay. That way, now these 6 points is enough for your 5 marks question. So this will be your 5 marks question. 6 points are enough for your 5 marks, not more than that. So factors determining real wages. First, tell me, what are real wages? Real wages are the purchasing power of money wages. That means a laborer, how much amount of goods and services he can purchase with his money wages. That amount of goods and services which he can purchase with his money wage is called as real wages. So what are all the factors that are determining the real wages? One is price level. Price level. Price level means what? If the prices are high, real wages will be low. If prices are low, real wages will be high. Okay. Method of payment means when you receive the income, when we are working somewhere, when we receive the income, in that income, if additional facilities such as housing allowance or traveling allowances or medical allowance or educational allowances, if such additional facilities are included in our salary, then our real wages will be high. Because with that money, we can purchase more quantity. Okay. If these facilities are not included in your salaries, then real wages will be low. Next, regularity of employment. If your job is a permanent job, permanent means what? Yes, we have a secure job. Means every month we will get the income. In that case, our purchasing power will be high. Why? Because we can purchase on installment basis also. We assume that yes, next month we'll get the amount, we can pay it for that. You can buy more. So your purchasing power will be high if your job is permanent. And nature of work. Nature of work means if there is a risk and danger in your work. Risk is there. If more the risk, less the real wages. If the risk is more in your job, then the purchasing power will be low. If the risk is less or smooth functioning of your work is there, then your real wages will be high. And subsidiary earnings. Subsidiary earnings are what? Your extra income. Other than your wages, if you are earning any income, for example, rent on building, you have your own building, you will earn in rent from that. So that is an additional income for you apart from your wages. Such extra income is called as such extra income if you receive, then real wages will be high. Means labor's purchasing power will be high. Next, timely payment. Whatever the payments we are getting, if we receive them on regular basis and in time if we receive the payments, then real wages will be high. Okay, so these points you write down for your 5 marks question. This is enough, but this question is compulsory. Every time from this chapter, they are asking this question. Factors determining real wages. Okay. Okay, so after this real wages in this chapter, we have few important questions. We will study about them. VSAQs now. Once we complete these VSAQs, this chapter will be completed. Okay. So now your VSAQs questions. First concept is rent. Rent is what? Generally, we are having 4 factors of production. What are the 4 factors of production? If you see, the 4 factors of production are land, labor, capital, and organizer. On land, when you use land, what you will pay in return? Rent. If you use the labor, what they will earn in return? Wages or salaries. If you give capital or if you take money from someone else, what you pay in return? Interest. Organizer, what he will get in return? Profit. Okay. So now in theories of distribution, we are going to study about rent, wages, interest, and profit. Rent is the reward which is paid for land. Wages are the rewards which are paid for services of labor. Interest, it is the reward which is paid on capital. Profit is the reward which is paid for the services of organizer. Okay. So in this, we have done with the wages. Wages are divided into two types, money wages and real wages. Again, in money wages, we have time wages and piece wages. So those are the concepts of wages. Now let us discuss the other concepts, that is rent, interest, and profit. Okay, so rent. Rent is what? It is a reward paid for land. Right? From land, we get a certain, from land, we have certain usage over here. On land, we will receive for the services of land. In return, we receive the amount which we call it as rent. The remuneration paid for the, or we can also write it as remuneration paid for the services of land. It is the remuneration which is paid for the usage or services of the land. Okay. And rent is the payment received by owner of the property. And it is received by owner of the land. Okay. So see, what is rent? It is a reward paid for the land, or we can write it as it is a remuneration paid for the use of land. It is received by the owner of the land. That is called as rent. Now, this rent, there are two concepts of rent. One is contract rent and economic rent. These are important for your 2 marks. Okay, contract rent. Contract rent is also known as gross rent. Means it is the total rent which is paid for the usage of land, usage of that particular land. Now, this contract rent includes, first, interest on capital, reward for management, interest on capital, reward paid for the management, depreciation and maintenance charges, depreciation and maintenance charges, right? First is interest on capital, then wages for management, depreciation and maintenance charges, profit or reward for risk taking, reward for risk taking. This is called as contract rent. Okay, so just see, it also includes economic rent. So see, what is contract rent? Contract rent is received by the owner of the land. It is also called as gross rent. It includes interest on capital, wages for management, depreciation and maintenance charges, reward for risk taking, and also economic rent. So all these are included in the contract rent. Means on an agreement, when the rent is paid to the owner of the land, certain amount we will pay. That includes all these factors, interest on capital, then also it includes wages for management, depreciation and maintenance charges, reward for risk taking, also economic rent. So these all are included in the concept of contract rent. Now next we have economic rent. Economic rent means what? If whatever we have after making the payment of all this, after wages are paid for management, after profits are distributed, after interest on capital is paid, all the charges are removed, then whatever is left over, that is called as economic rent. So here we can say economic rent is the surplus arrived by deducting. What we are deducting here? Deducting interest on capital, wages for management, depreciation and maintenance charges, surplus which is arrived by deducting interest on capital, wages for management, reward for risk. Okay. Reward for risk and gross rent. If we deduct all this from our total rent, from gross rent, then we will get risk from gross rent. From gross rent, if we deduct all these things, the surplus which we get is called as economic rent. Means from the total amount, from the total rent what we are receiving. For example, one building rent is 1 lakh rupees. That total 1 lakh is the contract rent. Okay. From that 1 lakh, again, owner will incur certain expenditure here. He got some capital, he got some finance, for that interest have to be paid. That means he has got some loan to construct that building. Interest will be paid for that. Okay. People are working for that. Wages are paid for the people here. Also, we can see depreciation and maintenance charges, reward for risk taking. Owner is taking the risk by giving that land for rent. So all these are deducted from the gross rent. Whatever the surplus which is there, that surplus is called as economic rent, or we can say it is the surplus above cost of production. So what is economic rent? Economic rent is the surplus above cost of production. Okay. So this is your economic rent. Very, very, very important, this one. Economic rent means what? The surplus arrived by deducting interest on capital, wages for management, depreciation and maintenance charges, reward for risk from gross rent. If we deduct all this, we will arrive with some surplus. That surplus is called as economic rent. It is the surplus above cost of production. So this is the concept of rent. Completes your 2 VSAQs. Okay, so this is about the concept of rent. Now, next concept we will study, that is interest. What is the interest? Interest is the reward which is paid for the services of capital. So here we can say it is the reward paid for capital. Capital means what? When we give our money on interest basis, like generally when we give the capital or when we have the capital money with us, when we give it to someone else, in return on capital we will get interest. So that is called as interest. Interest is the payment made by a borrower to a lender. Okay, so it is regarded as the payment for the services of capital. Okay, so here we can say it is the income earned by owner of capital. It is the income earned by the owner of capital. So generally when you see interest, interest is what? It is the reward which is paid for capital or income which is earned by the owner of the capital. It is called as interest. Now there are two concepts of interest here. The two concepts are gross interest and net interest. Gross means what? Gross means total. Remember gross and net. Simple difference you make. Gross means without any deductions. Total, right? Net means what? After making certain deductions. So here, when we study this gross interest, how we calculate the gross interest? The payment which the lender receives from the borrower. The payment which the lender receives from borrower, which includes net interest. It includes excluding the principal is gross interest. So you can see gross interest is equals to, you have to write down the formula here. Gross interest is equals to net interest plus reward for risk taking, reward for inconvenience, reward for risk taking, because when we give money to someone else, that means we are taking risk. Okay, plus reward for inconvenience, reward for inconvenience plus reward for management. Means these all are included in our capital. When we have certain money, we are taking risk by giving them to someone. For that risk, interest has to be paid. We are that when we give that money to someone else, inconvenience is caused to us. Inconvenience means we may use that money for some other purpose. Now we don't have it, we have given to someone else. So for that inconvenience, reward will be paid, and reward for the management. So this concept is called as gross interest. Now, the next concept we have net interest. See, these all you will get it for 2 marks. Contract rent, economic rent, gross interest, net interest. Next we have profit also. So what is net interest? What remains with the lender? What remains with the lender? Lender means what? Whoever is giving. Lender after deducting reward for risk taking, inconvenience and management. Means after all the deductions, what is left out with the lender? After all the deductions, after all the payments, whatever is left over, that is the reward which is earned by the owner of the capital. So here we can write net interest is equals to gross interest minus reward for risk taking plus reward for inconvenience plus reward for management. So when you add all these and deduct from your gross interest, already you got gross interest. When you deduct all these from gross interest, we will get the net interest. So simple concept you remember, gross means without any deductions. All are included in that, the total value. Whereas net means after making certain payments, after all the deductions, whatever is left with us, that is called as the net interest. Okay, see the difference between gross value and net value. Gross means without any deductions. Net means after making the deductions. So this is how we have the gross interest and net interest. Okay, so the next concept we have, that is profit. Profit which is earned by the factor organizer. Profit is the surplus of income over cost of production. Profit is the surplus of income over cost of production, or we can say it is the reward paid to the entrepreneur for his services, or profit is the reward paid to the services of organizer. It is a reward which is paid to the organizer, because organizer will be taking risk. Organizer in the process of production, he will be taking risk, he will be giving his skills and efforts and all he will keep for his organization. For that, reward will be paid. That reward paid to the services of organizer in return is called as profit. And the concept of profit, we have two concepts of profit here. The two concepts of profit are same again, gross profit and net profit. So what do you mean by gross profit? Gross profit means difference between total revenue and total cost of production. It is the difference between total revenue and total cost of production. Means what is received by the organizer. What is his total cost of production? What is the total income he is receiving? Okay, that difference is called as gross profit. So this gross profit includes, you can see here, implicit rent, interest, wages, depreciation charges, insurance premium, all are included in the gross profit. So you can write down the formula over here. Gross profit is equals to implicit means what? Implicit means the producer's own factors will earn some income. Okay, if the producer is having his own building, he will not pay rent, but when he give to someone, he will receive the rent. That is called as implicit rent. Implicit rent plus implicit wages plus implicit interest plus depreciation plus insurance premium. These all plus net profit. When we include all the implicit means the amount which is paid for owned factors of production. When factors of production are owned by the producer, he will receive some income. That income which is received per owned factors of production is called as implicit. That is implicit rent, implicit wages, implicit interest, depreciation charges plus insurance premium. These all are added to the net profit. So that's why we call it as difference between total revenue and total cost of production. Now, the next concept is net profit. Net profit is what? Net profit is also called as true profit or economic profit or pure profit. So it is also called as true profit or economic profit or pure profit, which is earned after all the payments. Means once the producer, organizer, he is receiving the reward for his skill. So here we can say that it is the reward for paid for organizers, entrepreneur skills. So what is net profit? It is the reward paid for organizers' skills. Okay, how we calculate this one? See, now after all the deductions I said, in gross rent, we are adding everything, we are including everything. Whereas in net, we will deduct everything. So, net profit is equals to, already we have the gross profit minus of all these factors, that is implicit rent plus implicit wages plus implicit interest plus depreciation charges, plus insurance premium. So these all are deducted from the gross profit. Then we will get the net profit. Okay. See the difference? Gross means what? All are included in the income. Whereas net means what? All are deducted, which is left over after making all the payments. So net profit is also called as the pure profit. Why? Because it is paid only for the organizer skills. Other factors like organizers land, organizer labor, organizers capital, for all these amount is deducted from the gross interest. So that's why we call a net profit as the economic profit or pure profit or the true profit. So these are the concepts of profit. So see, what is profit? Profit is the reward which is paid for organizer. There are two types of concepts of profit: gross profit, net profit. Gross means by including all the factors income, whereas net means after all the deductions. So these are the VSAQs from this chapter. Just go through here one by one. See, first we have wages. We have discussed with wages. Wages are the rewards which are paid for the services of the labor, right? Either labor is giving physical services or mental services. For that, in return, what the reward is received is called as the wages. These wages are divided into money wages, two concepts of wages, money wages and real wages. What are money wages? Money wages are also called as nominal wages. The money income received by laborer for the services rendered in physical or mental form. Okay. Whereas they are, again we have time wages and piece wages. Time wages, wages are paid based on time element. That is, or here we can also take as based on hourly basis, daily basis, weekly basis, or monthly basis, that are called as time wages. Piece wages, wages are paid according to the work done by laborer, irrespective of time. How much ever time he may work, but he is completing the work. Concept of wages. Next, you have real wages. Real wages are the purchasing power of money wages. When the laborer is earning income, with that income, with his money wage, how much amount of goods and services he can purchase. So that concept is called as real wages. So what are the factors determining real wages? Price level, method of payment, regularity of employment, nature of work, subsidiary earnings, timely payment. This is compulsory 5 marks question. Okay, so for 5 marks, you write down 6 points. This is more than enough. Real wages. Next, we have rent. Rent is the reward paid for the services of land, or it is the remuneration paid for the usage of land, which is received by the owner of the land. In this, we have two concepts, contract rent and economic rent. Contract rent is also called as gross rent. Gross rent means what? All are included without any deductions. So, it includes interest on capital, wages for management, depreciation and maintenance charges, reward for risk taking, and also economic rent is included. Whereas economic rent means what? After all the deductions, what is left over? What is the surplus after making all the payments? So it is surplus arrived by deducting interest on capital, wages for management, depreciation and maintenance charges, reward for risk from gross rent. It is the surplus above cost of production. So this is the concept of rent. Next, interest. Interest, which is the reward paid for capital or income earned by owner of capital. So the two concepts of capital interest are gross interest, net interest. Gross interest without any deductions. So the payment which the lender receives from borrower. Gross interest is equals to net interest plus reward for risk taking, reward for inconvenience, and reward for management. Net interest, what remains with the lender after deducting. Means net means what? After making the deductions. Deductions are reward for risk taking, inconvenience, and management. You have to write down the formula. For 2 marks, if you write this much, it's more than enough. Last concept you have profit. Profit is the surplus of income over cost of production. It is the reward which is paid to the services of the organizer. Two concepts are gross profit and net profit. Gross profit, it is difference between total revenue and total cost of production, which include the income earned by organizers' own factors, which we call them as implicit rent, implicit wages, interest, and insurance premium and all. Okay. Whereas net profit, it is also called as true profit or economic profit or pure profit. It is the reward paid for organizer skills. So you have to write down the formula. Okay. So this completes your 6th chapter, that is theories of distribution. In theories of distribution, 1 5 marks question and 2 marks question. 7 marks you will get if you thoroughly prepare what I explained today. So this will be your 5 marks question and all are your 2 marks questions. Hope you understood today's class. So today we'll continue in next class. Thank you.